Folks, kimeumana kuumana. Wah! For keen observers of Kenyan politics, the gloves are now off in the epic political battle and battle for the hearts of Kenyans between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. Sample the following. The president is quoted as having said that he is now doing much better in his second term as a result of getting rid of thieves in his first term. And then Deputy President William Samoei Ruto shoots back about the dismantling of the once vibrant Jubilee Party and the betrayal of the 8 million voters who voted Jubilee. Not my figures, by the way. About the elections in 2017, not my figures. The deputy president's figures, I want to emphasize that. And both remarks by the most powerful person in the country and the person who is supposed to be the second most powerful person in the country leave no room or very little tiny room for guesswork as to who they're shooting their barbs towards. Although they didn't mention names. Guys, we have moved to a new level of this epic battle. But let's start this story at the beginning, as usual. A few days ago, President Uhuru Kenyatta hosted leaders from Ukambani at State House. This was a closed-door meeting. The press were not there. But later on, the Presidential Press Unit released a tightly edited video, which of course did not include these controversial remarks. But you know the Kamba people, they're not very good at keeping secrets. Sooner or later, you'll hear in some corner, Asisi, Musumbi Asiata. Translation, gosh, what did the president say? Anyway, this information about the remarks of the president leaked out and were published. And Deputy President very quickly responded. And after his response, there was no denial from State House that the president didn't say what he was quoted as having said, including a remark by the president, earth-shattering, game-changing, earth-moving, etc., etc., where he said he would back the NASA candidate in 2022 for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. Now, to be clear, the president is quoted as having said that as long as NASA agree on one of them, amongst the principles, on one candidate, the president will back that particular candidate for 2022. Now, that clearly tells us, for the first time, although everybody has been suspecting it, but that clearly tells us it is official. The president will not support Deputy President William Ruto for the presidency in 2022. And one cannot help looking at the whole thing in context, because when he says this, after saying that the first term, his first term as president, was messed up by thieves, which he got rid of, and now is doing better in his second term. If you look at it in that context, what is the president really saying? You tell me. Now I can hear some of you telling me, Kshs, please get on with it. You're not giving us any news. Nothing new. These scandals have been all over the place. And the deputy president has been mentioned all over the place. It is rather obvious. The president doesn't have to say it. We know. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, but I try very hard on this channel to be balanced, because the deputy president has denied those accusations. Yeah, and he has said nobody has convicted him in any court for stealing. Hajaiba mbuzi ya mtu. Kwani ameiba mbuzi yako? And let me just leave it there, because I want to focus here on the real impact of this development politically. And then the president's MP, oh yes, Gatundu legislator Moses Kuria, fired another deadly barb. Honorable Kuria said, since the president is now a NASA campaigner, he should just step down for the deputy president. Huh? Now just hold on a minute. Remember the article in the Star? The article that was pulled down, that I covered in my previous video? You nakumbuka? What I am trying to do, and what every political analyst should always do, is to look for a pattern. Because a pattern reveals a lot. It would seem that it is now somebody's strategy to mount pressure on President Uhuru Kenyatta to resign, to step down. That seems to be the strategy. And politically, it makes sense for that other side. Because according to our constitution, when a president steps down, the deputy president takes over. And it would mean that come 2022 presidential elections, Bwana Ruto would be the incumbent, which in Africa changes everything. But of course, there is no way President Uhuru Kenyatta is going to resign. Never ever. Although that doesn't stop his political opponents from trying, what I'd call a very long shot. So long that it borders on political daydreams. And I'm avoiding quoting what the president promised Kenyans about the kind of people he would not like to hand over the country to. And he didn't mention any names. Now. What is all this? Let us break it down. Sticking very closely to political reality and not daydreams or theories. For starters, there is no doubt that President Uhuru Kenyatta is under increasing pressure over his policies and his leadership. That one is true. And it neatly explains why the other side would launch their current far-fetched campaign. They are hoping that the pressure will continue to rise and gather momentum. However, that is not going to happen. Why? I hear you ask. It's very simple. A president in Kenya, even in the past, has a wide range of tools and strategies to use to ease pressure on them. And this has been done again and again and again in Kenya. Our presidents have been under pressure. And each time, a different tool has been used to ease that pressure. Let me give you a few examples. In 1975, after the brutal assassination of the then Nyandarua North legislator, Josiah Mwangi Kariuki, J.M. Kariuki, pressure mounted on the government of President Jomo Kenyatta like never before. And it was made worse when a very popular musician called Joseph Kamaru, who happened to be a close friend of J.M. Kariuki, released a Kikuyu song singing the praises of J.M. Kariuki and demanding that the killers face justice, either here on earth, by man, or by God Almighty. That song took off like a rocket and lifted Joseph Kamaru from just a popular musician to a mega star on the Kenyan musical scene. Now, under that kind of pressure, the government of Jomo Kenyatta responded. And they responded with force. That song was banned. A few people arrested for being caught listening to it. And then President Jomo Kenyatta, who was rarely seen in public, made a public appearance walking along what is today Moi Avenue. And at some point, he stopped and saluted to Air Force jets, flying past in his honor. All that was to give Kenyans a very simple message in Kiswahili. Jaribu uone. We jaribu tu uone. The pressure on the president and his government instantly vanished. Another example, President Daniel Arap Moi, and I believe this was at the beginning of the fight for multi-party democracy, it had not yet caught fire nicely, faced the same pressures, and he used the very basic method of easing pressure. If there's pressure somewhere, what do? You open a few valves and release that pressure immediately. Problem solved. And so what he did, he formed a commission to listen to the views of Kenyans. And for months, Kenyans came forward and gave their views about the future of the country. And fascinatingly, one of the Kenyans who came forward at the time to represent the youth was the then younger Uhuru Kenyatta, together with the sons of other prominent politicians from the past. That commission was headed by the late Professor George Saitoti, who was then the vice president, to show people how serious it was. But actually it wasn't serious, because after the commission had listened to the views, that was the end of the story. Pressure gone. Of course, it came back later with force. But the president was off the hook, I believe, for almost 2 years. During the tenure of President Mwai Kibaki, under the brand new 2010 Constitution, the method he used to ease pressure was simple but very effective. Divert the attention of the public. Find some information that the public is not very familiar with or does not know, and then find a way to release it. And release it in such a way that it is not linked to State House and the presidency. The kind of information that will make Kenyans say, "Wah?" and Kumekucha say, "Ay, ay, 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 yeah." And by diverting attention, you instantly ease the pressure on the presidency. So now we're on the same page. There are very many different tools that can be used to ease the pressure. So mambo ya resignation, sahau. But let's move on to something I believe should be of even much more concern. We have a saying in Africa that when elephants, two huge, powerful, big African elephants fight, they're not the ones who get wounded most. It is the grass that bears the brunt of that war. And so, with this escalating level, in this epic political battle between the president and his deputy, in theory, ni nyasi ndo itaumia, ni sisi ndo tutaumia. The common man in Kenya, the people of Kenya, are the ones who are going to bear the most terrible wounds as this battle rages and moves to a new, higher, much more intense level. And it doesn't matter who you're supporting, because both sides have staunch, radical supporters. That doesn't matter. We will all bear the brunt of that war. Indeed, there are those who believe that where we have reached as a country is a very dangerous place where we should not go ever. As a country, we have many urgent problems that need very urgent attention. There is no election until the latter part of next year. So in this little time left, we should focus on easing the pain Kenyans are already feeling. But the reality is that this is politics. And you can't stop politics and political wars by reasoning. No, it has never happened. The way political battles stop is when there's a winner, or when a truce is called, after heavy, brutal losses on both sides. There's no other way of stopping a political war. And so, we just need to brace ourselves. Now, before I go, a quick one. Weekly Intelligence Briefings number 59 is coming out shortly. And I'm sure you'll appreciate a sneak preview. It is based on the billionaire entrepreneur who was just passed on, Kshs. It is highly sensitive because there's a lot of information that the public has never been aware of, touching on the life of this man. You dare not miss it. Now, you can also take in the following brief recording I made earlier, telling you a little more about my weekly intelligence briefings, and also announcing the very special offer I have, where virtually anybody can afford to be a member of my weekly intelligence briefings, so that you're ahead. You know what is really happening in Kenyan politics. Kindly just listen in. While I try my very best to give you real value on this public channel and to give you all the valuable information I can, the truth is there's some information that is way too sensitive to share on this public channel. That information usually ends up in my weekly intelligence briefings, which is usually moto kama pasi. Just to give you a few examples, what really happened to former President of Tanzania, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli? Is it true that he passed on at a Nairobi hospital? Actually, the Magufuli inside story is nothing short of mind-boggling. Most people who have taken in my WIB number 52, which contains this information, have been left breathless. Even the most hardened cynics have been left bila words, if I can put it in the Kenyan way. Another example of a WAB that I published recently. There is a secret that those who are close to Raila Odinga have guarded and continue to guard with everything they have. Why is this particular secret so sensitive? And what is it anyway? It is contained in one of my WABs. In fact, a recent one. And there's much more, including things you'd never imagine that are happening in the corridors of power that neatly explain what we see unfolding in the public domain. Bottom line, you will never look at Kenyan politics in the same way again after you become a WAB subscriber. Indeed, it is true to say that in most instances, the truth is stranger than fiction, and sometimes much more difficult to believe than fiction. But it remains the naked truth. And now you have a golden opportunity of becoming a weekly intelligence briefing subscriber on a monthly basis, which will automatically give you access to every single WAB ever produced. Oh yes, I will send you all the WABs immediately you become a subscriber. And to become a monthly subscriber, all you need is $9.95 only, or Kenya shillings 995 only. Simply send a blank email to the email address you see on your screens right now, and you'll get an automated response by email instantly, within seconds, with full payment instructions and what you need to do. The same full payment instructions are also included in the description area below this video on YouTube. I strongly recommend that you go for it, because this offer will not last for much longer. I really look forward to seeing you on the other side as a WAB subscriber. Thanks so much for your support. It means a lot to me. And I'm saying that very sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I look forward to seeing you on the other side as a WAB subscriber. Until next time, this is Kshs. Kumekucha.